Recently,
Yes.
we have just found out that Kanye West he's decided to run for president. So how do you feel about that?
I'm so excited.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Consciously Creative, and I am Colby Dion. I am so happy to be here. I've been wanting to do a show for forever. So here we are. It is halfway through 2020. I have no more time to waste. So here we are. I want you guys to follow. I want you to follow me along on my journey. Hopefully you guys can learn some things, because this show, the premise of it is artistry, creativity. I want artists to come on. I want to be able to bring singers and dancers and actors and actresses. You could do arts and crafts. Whatever your passion is, I want you here, because we need to help each other out and help each other move along and move up the food chain. I am a singer, and I have always wanted to be around people like me, be around creative people, get out of this bubble of I'm a little nervous, what will people think? I no longer care what people think. I want to help other people get out of their shell. We're gonna move up, we're gonna do it. So with that being said, let's do this. If this sounds like the channel for you, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button, and let's get it popping with this interview, okay? See y'all in a bit. What's up, guys? Welcome to Consciously Creative, and I'm your host, Colby Dion, and today we have a very special guest, Sabina. And first, I want to start off with doing like a short icebreaker, a 30-second icebreaker, to kind of get us comfortable talking, because we're both a little nervous. So I'm going to start the clock, and I'm going to ask you some questions, and you just say whatever comes to mind.
There's a clock?
Just a 30.
Because I don't speak English, so I don't know.
Okay, Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Okay. What is a smell that you love?
Oh, lavender. Yes, lavender.
Okay, at what age do you consider yourself an adult?
I am still not an adult, and I'm 47 years old.
Okay. What is one food that you would never give up?
Food or drink?
Food.
Food, chocolate.
Okay, drink.
Yeah. Oh, wine, red wine.
Okay.
Yes.
Tequila or vodka?
Vodka.
And the last one is coffee or tea?
Oh, coffee, definitely. Oh, I don't know. Tea. I kind of like tea too. So, I don't know. Coffee.
So coffee and tea?
Coffee and tea. And it was in English.
Yes, it was in English. So, I want you to introduce yourself.
Dang.
And tell everyone where you're from. And I think they might get an understanding of why I want your opinion. And I'll explain all that.
So my dad is Tanzanian, so that's East Africa, closer to Zanzibar, if you all know where that map of Africa. My mother is Slovene, so that's next to Austria and Germany and Italy on the other side. So that's they're Slavic. They came from Russia, so blonde, blue eyes, and everything. My dad is very, very dark, and so I grew up in Africa and in Slovenia. So I grew up in these two cultures. I speak both languages.
That's really cool.
Yes, it is cool.
I only speak English.
You don't speak English. You speak Americanese.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
So I asked you here because I wanted to get your opinion on what you think about the Black Lives Matter movement and your experience as a Black woman, but not. I mean, I guess you're American now because you have citizenship. But I mean, like you were
not yet. But I have a green card.
Okay.
So no one can arrest me.
Okay. So, but I wanted to get your experience as a Black woman in America, but not born and raised in America.
Okay. So from where I come from, it's just race is just, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody, but from everybody's dynamic is different. But from where I come from, race was not really, I didn't see race for a long time. Like I saw race towards the end of my teenage years, so 16, 17. There's more prejudice than racial. Like it's about the status, your status, like if you're rich or poor. So if you're Black and rich, It's different.
You're over the poor white people.
Yes, you're over poor white people.
Okay.
Which is kind of cool. No, I'm just playing. So it's I think it's different how they see people. Like I'll give you. I think we talked about this the other day. That I have an incident. I remember a little girl ran towards me to ask me if I was made of chocolate, and she wanted to touch me to see if I was made of chocolate. And so it was more curiosity.
Were you offended by that?
No, because it was more, she made me smile. So,
Okay.
yeah. And I kind of like the idea that I look like chocolate because I like chocolate. I'm just saying.
Most people like chocolate.
Yes. Just saying. Once you got chocolate. Yeah.
So did you feel like, so your mom is white.
Yes.
So
Blue eyes, blonde.
did you ever feel like an outsider with the white people in your family?
No, I actually felt more like an outsider with the black people in my family.
Why?
Because I'm too light
Okay.
to be black.
Right.
Like, but if there was some kind of racial thing going on with my white family, I didn't know about that. Yeah.
Did your African family ever make you feel any different because you were lighter skinned than they were?
Yes, they did make me feel different, but it wasn't a really bad different. It was more like you are better, you're prettier because you're light skinned. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that's kind of messed up.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna look at it that way. I was pretty.
No, but
I know.
yes, but everyone's pretty, you know.
Yes, I know, but
Yeah.
I'm just joking. That I was made to feel that I am prettier than everybody because of that. Also, there's this thing with whites in Africa. They are superior in a way. So if you have any, when you're mixed with whites, then you are better.
Because
you
were telling me that there's an incident where your dad was at the airport.
I was with my dad, and it was a long line, and there was a white person in the back, and suddenly one of the airline lady ran in the back to go and ask him if he would please move to the front.
That's crazy.
Yes.
So I mean, it's still colorism though.
It is colorism, so it's better. It's considered better when you're white.
Black people in America would not do that. They are not getting out of the line to move.
No, there will be protests going on after that.
For sure. So speaking of protests,
okay,
what is your take on Black Lives Matter? Do you agree? Do you disagree?
So I've been thinking about this like for a while now. So American racist status quo it's very unique, and I'm thinking it's because of the slavery. I think the Aborigines may have the same kind of.
In Australia.
Yes, because they were also brutalized.
Right.
Because I feel like Black Americans are criminal. Black life is criminalized. Does that make sense? In other countries, it's not criminalized. Does that make sense? You may be considered inferior, but you're not a criminal.
For it.
Yeah, for it. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah, and so it's criminalized is dehumanized.
Right.
Does that make sense? You may be considered inferior if you're black when you're black in London, but you're not dehumanized.
Right. That's the same way of like in America, if a black person commits the same crime as a white person, if the cop was there, I'm pretty sure the cop would pick that the black person did it.
Yes. Just automatically without questions.
Right.
But in other places, actually, they don't really do. I don't think, maybe they do, but I just did not notice that. Yeah. So it's pretty unique, and it's very inhumane. Like the way they overlook the black people. It's just not. It's inhumane. Anyway, so I have a lot of questions, and I know you always listen to me, and you're very patient with me because I'm pretty dumb sometimes about this.
No, you're not.
I'm pretty dumb about it. So I do think protests we should have protests. I think we should have more than protests. I think we should do a lot of studies I think we should make ourselves better. I think we should. There's an expression my dad used to say when I was growing up: if you think education is expensive, try ignorance. So I feel like if we are educated, then we can resolve a lot of issues intelligently. Does that make sense? With less violence, maybe? I don't know about that.
It does, but does that mean that Black people aren't educated?
No, they are educated, but more should be educated. And I know it's hard because it's very expensive, and all that. Mm-hmm. But I feel like more of us Black people should want to go to college, and it should be the most important thing that we want to do.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. That kind of goes into the different topic, but it kind of goes into the drug conversation we were having the other day.
Yes.
Of why would you choose that life?
That sometimes in the movies it's glamorized. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Drugs are glamorized, or the lifestyle of drinking and partying is glamorized, and I think that's a short-term glamour. I think if you want real glamour, you should go to school, go get educated, and then long term, mm-hmm. you're gonna have. Does that make sense? Am I making sense?
Yes.
I know I'm speaking in English.
You are making sense.
Okay.
But I do think that education, yes, everyone should be educated, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone should go to college. No. There are also different ways to educate yourself.
Like community, what is it, tech?
They have technical schools.
And stuff like that.
College, trade school.
Yes, trade school. Like also like psychology. Do you have to go to college for psychology and stuff?
To be a psychologist?
Yeah, or not, or just to be like a therapist. I feel like learning about human.
The way people think.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. Like it could help us how we act and how we think and stuff like that. Yeah, art. Learning about art, because art in a way it's a way to express our identity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And learning about the art is good. Like the pain and suffering.
I think that there, like I said, there are different ways to educate yourself. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. There are different ways to be artistic and to express art. Mm-hmm.
Identity?
Yeah, I just think that I don't know what the answer is.
Yeah.
There are a lot of Black people that are educated.
Yeah. I think it's also time. I think it takes time. So protest will kickstart it, right?
Yes.
And then we're learning, we educate ourselves, we get involved. Like we just don't just look from outside, but we all get involved in all different ways. If it's you want to serve the community by working in a homeless shelter, mm-hmm. Like we get involved in all these ways.
Or even if it's just like this and just having conversations.
Yes, and just people, and then you also, and then it takes time. We give ourselves time. Like we are not gonna get everything today, but if we start working on it today,
Do you think that the way that people are protesting is the right way?
I think it's the right way, but I think sometimes we get caught up in how things maybe look. I think sometimes our agendas are not aligned.
You mean as like a community? As
a community, yes. I mean, we all know Black Lives Matter, but does it make same sense to everybody? Because sometimes...
So you're trying to say, does Black Lives Matter mean the same thing to everyone?
Yes. Maybe we should,
because it's not defined.
Nobody's really defining that. Like define the police.
But I guess it's that's true. But I also think Black Lives Matter is simple.
Yes, it
Stop
is.
killing us.
Yes, and our lives matter.
We deserve to have the same respect as everyone else.
Yeah, but then you're gonna have people saying all lives matter, and then you have to explain that
all
that
lives
matter. Yes, but in this instance, Black lives matter because George
Floyd
was killed in a terrible way, and he was Black. I mean,
I hate when people say that.
Yeah. What?
All lives matter. It's like, yes, all lives matter.
Yes.
So therefore, Black lives should also matter because they're a part of all lives.
Yeah. Because right now we are not talking about all lives.
Right.
We're talking about Black lives.
Right. Yeah. So with that, You have a black son.
Uh-huh.
Who's my brother.
Yes. He's very handsome, by the way, just in case you are,
Do you fear for him in the United States?
So I will go back a little bit. So when I came to the States, I didn't think about these things. Like, these things didn't cross my mind. I just saw people as people. And I didn't worry about these things because I thought, I don't have to worry about that. But yes.
Why did you feel that you didn't have to worry about that?
Because I felt maybe if you're in a certain neighborhood, you have to worry about that. But because if you're in a safe neighborhood, you don't have to worry about that.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Like, why would anybody pull me in a good neighborhood?
Right. But they could easily ask you, hey, are you supposed to be here?
Yes. And then ask for my immigration status. I'm just playing.
But they wouldn't even know that until you started to talk.
I know, yeah. But I can always pretend. I can say, excusez, vous parlez français? And then,
It'll come,
and then they wouldn't know what's up. Yeah.
Right.
But now with everything going on, it's, I didn't know about these things. I mean, I kind of heard about them, but it was in the background. Like, you see in the news, I'm doing the dishes and then I see something and I don't think about it.
Yeah.
But now it's on my face and now I think about it. I don't worry about it too much because I feel like he's a good kid, but it does cross my mind when he goes out with his friend at 11 p.m. and he's sometimes the only black person in his group.
When we went to Central Market the other day and he went to go put the buggy back in like the buggy thing, I don't know if you noticed, but I like watched him all the way from the buggy thing back to the car because I feel like people are like rude.
Yeah.
And so now I watch everything to make sure.
But you know what's a good thing with teenagers, 16-year-old boys, they just don't care.
They don't.
Like, if you look at him funny, he just probably wouldn't even know you're looking at him funny.
I think though, because like you said, you thought it was like it happens, but why would it happen to me?
Yes, or why my neighborhood?
Right.
That's the bad neighborhood.
But for me growing up, I thought the same thing. I was like, that's not going to happen to me. And then it happened. And then I was like, oh. So then you start to see things. And I was always the kid that I had a whole bunch of white friends all around me. And I would notice that they would say little things. Or they would always touch my hair. Or little things that I didn't notice before.
How did you feel when it happened to you?
Fear? So I remember I was on the softball team. I played softball and I played basketball all my life. And I remember we had like a late night practice or something. And I had braids. And I had just unbraided my hair. So my hair was big. And
I can imagine.
At the time, I was the only black girl on the softball team. And all the girls were like, oh my God, like, can I touch it? And then one girl didn't even ask. She was just like I'm just you're just picking at me, you know? And I remember feeling a way about it. But then I thought, I shouldn't feel a way. Like, I'm just overreacting. Like,
how long have you been playing with these girls? Because it makes it different. If you've known somebody for 8 years and they ask about it, then you kind of know they're just curious.
Or those same girls, I would hear some of them say the N-word.
Yeah.
And because I was the only black girl on the team, I think sometimes they just forgot that I was there and they would just say it. And I also think that sometimes when you're that age, you don't realize the magnitude of what you're saying. And you don't realize that until you're older.
Yes, like way older. Only recently, I actually stopped to think. Or when I listen to people talking, I'm like, it's hard to hear that, but I can imagine when I was their age, I probably say the same thing.
I don't know. I think everybody's experiences are different, but we kind of all come to the same realization at the end of the day.
You know, justice, I feel like justice is a universal consciousness,
which is why everyone is standing with
like at the end of the day, no matter which way you're coming from, if something is not right, you're gonna know it's not right.
Right.
You're gonna feel it. You're gonna. Yeah.
And with that being said, I can't understand why then people in America can't see.
Yes.
If there are people in other countries, soccer teams, kneeling because they think that what's going on is wrong, then why can't people in the United States see that it's wrong?
Yes. So I was thinking about that because I've had people, I was talking to a lady friend of mine, and she was like, yeah, but he was not a good person, George Floyd. He was not a good person. He was like, did he work at a strip club or something?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, so she was saying these things like it was okay. So I was like, you're missing the point.
Right.
It's not what kind of person he was, but how he died. So
Right.
I think people, to make it okay, or at least easy to digest it, I think people would they'll make a story around that and victimize that person. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I think that's how also like slave owners they were good Christians. They went to church every Sunday, but then they raped.
Can you imagine?
Can I say rape?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So they raped the wives, of their slaves, and but they went to church on Sunday. So I think people tell a story to themselves, and then they make it okay. So I think it's the same thing with how Americans see
racism.
Yeah,
But
here
that,
they make a story.
I agree, and that is because it's so ingrained
Yes.
in American society
Yes.
that people just think it's okay.
Yeah, they have made that story from when their parents made a story
Right. And they
for
got
them.
it from their parents and
Yes,
their parents.
yes, yeah. And that's why they would say, oh, but he was an awful person. It doesn't matter how awful he was. He was killed in
He
a
was a
very...
person.
Yeah, he was somebody's son,
Somebody's
dad, somebody's
And
husband.
I've heard people say, like, what you just said, he was a bad person.
Yeah, yeah.
But it is not the police officer's job
Yes.
to be the executioner of anyone.
Yes,
That's
yes.
why we have a court system.
Yes, 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 yes.
It doesn't matter if he was a murderer.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if he was a serial killer. Even though that's considered a bad person, the police are just supposed to arrest you.
Yes.
That's the most that they're they're
That's what-
supposed to arrest you, but they're also supposed to defend themselves. And everybody's seen that video.
Yeah.
There was no defending to be done.
Yeah. That's why we're civilized. We have come from where we used to stone people.
Right.
And obviously this system is working. That we have a court, we have a jury, we have a judge, and I don't know. I think yes, he shouldn't have been killed that way anyway. Right. But I loved it, like that Europe, the Germans, soccer players, they would look so cute in their Black Lives Matter armbands. Anyway,
So, do you feel like you have experienced, like you're in the U.S. obviously, so do you feel like you have experienced any racism here?
so I am sure I have, but because I'm not looking for it, I don't see it. Does that make sense? I feel like because I didn't grow up here, so I'm not, if somebody looks at me funny, I'm not gonna automatically think it's because I'm black. I'm gonna think they are hungry, or do I have something on my face, or so I am sure I have, but
You may have missed it.
Yes, I probably have missed it because I'm not looking at it. But I do notice that like workplaces, people who are less qualified than me will get promoted, let's say, before me, and I feel it may be because of that. But I haven't dug into that yet.
Okay.
But I do feel it could be because sometimes I wonder, is it because I'm black? But yeah, I have not felt like, that racism.
So on a lighter note,
Okay, yay.
Recently
Yes.
we have just found out that Kanye West he's decided to run for president. So how do you feel about that?
I'm so excited. I think it's very, very funny, and I love it. I mean, imagine Kim
as first lady.
As first lady. And probably we'll get to see the White House in the Kardashian what is it called again?
Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So it's gonna move to the White House.
Keeping Up
with the Kardashian?
White House edition.
White House edition.
I mean, obviously, everybody will watch that show.
Oh my God, even I will watch it
too. But that's sad. That's so sad that we're gonna watch it because it's the White House. It's not reality TV, but we already have a reality star in the White House.
We do. They're just not as good looking.
I will say that I'm a bit worried if that's true and he can actually run for president. He backs Trump. So if you're not a Trump supporter, like I feel this way. I feel like there are a lot of people that if they are racist, they're gonna be like, we're not voting for him. But because he's a Trump supporter,
a lot of young people
would vote for him. A lot of people
just want to have fun.
Right.
Like,
so
they're not taking it seriously.
Yes. So that makes me nervous.
I think we're becoming a joke to the rest of the world. And I hope people can laugh with us, if not laugh at us. But I think this is becoming a joke. It's not serious anymore, and it's a shame.
I went to Montreal last November, and it was raining, and so I had to go in the store to buy a hat. And I walked up.
Is it English speaking, French speaking?
Montreal, they speak English and French.
English, okay.
And I think normally if you have like a corporate job, you have to be able to speak English too.
Okay.
So I went to the store, and the guy was like, "Oh, where are you from?" And I was like, "The United States," and he was like, "Oh, you're from Trump's country," and I was just like. But it was funny to him. Yeah, he was laughing. I was so embarrassed.
My friends from Europe and Sweden, especially, some of them are really mad, really angry. So America is a powerful country, and it has potential to literally save the world. I guess with good leadership, though.
Right.
Like it's to be an example to the rest of the world, lead on, but so people are upset all over the world. I mean, I feel frustrated because of that, America should be the leader, but it's not.
Have the most powerful military in the world.
Yeah, but the rest are just laughing about it, and it's a whole big joke.
It's sad.
Yes, it's I don't know. I don't want to say anything.
I do think that as an American, you want to feel protected and feel confident in the leadership of your country. So it's sad that the other countries are taking it as a joke.
Yes, and also that the leader that we have, leaders are supposed to represent everybody.
Yes. And
the leadership that we have right now does not represent everybody. At least it feels like it doesn't represent everybody.
Because I mean, no, it doesn't.
Yeah, it feels it doesn't. So if it doesn't feel, it's not good.
Okay. Well, I'm out of questions.
Yeah.
So that's it. Thanks, guys. Thanks for watching Consciously Created, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Yay! Shoot, it's still recording.